Hello again, my faithful YouTube viewers. It's me, Wolf. I wanted to talk to you today about the insanity of Valomyr interrupts. I'm sure, as most people know, interrupts are part of the mastery system. If you look here, if you look here at Valomyr's, you can see that basically it wants you to interrupt it 100 times here, 40 previous, and 10 at the beginning, so 150 altogether. Not a big deal for most behemoths, but Valomyr's interrupt, which a lot of people didn't even know he has one, is a little tricky to get and only happens once, maybe twice per match. I've actually found that it's easier to get it once if you're hunting just for the interrupts. Get the interrupt and then die and start the match again, because the next interrupt won't come for another 4 to 6 minutes, which is a long time to wait. You could do a whole nother hunt in that time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up here to Valomyr, my normal route around the island, and he's right here. I'm going to do a couple of potions. And the match starts off pretty normal. But basically, as he teleports around, these should be satellites. There's the line of satellites. As he teleports around, one of those teleports gives you the ability to interrupt him. Get out of there so all the sparkles don't hit me. But basically you have to wait for that teleport. It's another line of satellites. Oh, got tagged by that one. This is just a spiral galaxy. Alright, this would be his interrupt. The satellites show up above him and the lines around his face. And that's it. Basically, knock him down. You can hammer hit him at that time, or throw the axe at him. Whatever you need to do to interrupt him. Oh, I just got teleported on top of, or shot by the beam. But then basically that doesn't happen again for another 4 to 6 minutes if you run through the pattern again. Also, the interrupt will not happen if you break his faceplate. So, if you break that eye at the front, his little, it will prevent him from being able to do interrupts. So you're going to want to make sure not to break that if you're trying for interrupts. These go through 3 cycles. That's the spiral galaxy. He'll come at me. More satellites. And I believe I've taken more than 100 damage at this point, so unfortunately I can't get my goal. I definitely have now. So at this point, the best thing to do is just to die. Which, walking into these lights usually solves that. And of course, now that I want to, for some reason I can't get hit. There we go. And they do an insane amount of damage. Or you could just stand here with him as he puts out a whole nother set. There we go. So unlike the other behemoths, where you can easily get 5, 10, sometimes 20 interrupts if you want to just trigger their interrupt to happen. Like Nasher has a pattern of 3 that he does. In Emmermain, if you just wanted to basically trip him up when he charges at you and then leave him laying down without hitting him, he'll charge at you again. You can do it over and over again. That is not the case with Valomyr. Unfortunately, with Valomyr, you're best off running through the cycle without doing much damage, getting that first interrupt, and then letting your Slayer expire and repeating the process. All told, 150 times, best done solo so somebody else doesn't get your interrupt or so they don't go crazy and hit him. If you go full bore and just start doing damage, the interrupt will never happen. This is a crazy expectation for us to get. There needs to be some other ways to interrupt Valomyr, something that stands out more. Maybe he gets up on his hind legs or balances on his face or, does a handstand or something, kind of like Skarn where he gets up on his back legs, just so it's easier to tell that that's what's going on, because he's such a large creature and the satellites show up all the time and you're always right at him, hitting him. If you're up close, you'll never notice that he's interruptible, and sometimes just hitting him isn't enough. You got to hit him with a big hit. Oftentimes you'll get a stagger before you get the interrupt, which is frustrating. So I just wanted to show people how to get the interrupt, what it looked like, and hopefully that's helpful to anyone trying to complete that Behemoth Mastery. If you have any other questions or any other knowledge that you would like me to share with you, definitely please ask in the comments below. I'd be happy to take any inquiries. Again, I'm not an elite player, so don't request things like, hey, beat Shroud in 2 minutes without getting hit while using recruit armor. I'm not one of those players. But if there is something that you've been struggling with, please ask, and I'll do the best I can to answer and to get you that information and show you how it's done. I thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.